Hi everybody, this is Reamey with Crossover Doula Services. I wanted to share a little bit today about the way I do an intake session with a potential client. So somebody refers somebody to me. We're going to start off having just a really chill conversation. I don't want them to feel like I am interrogating them, asking a bunch of questions. I don't want to come across as a provider who needs to gather a bunch of personal information. So I only ask questions that I feel like are relevant, and I make sure that my potential client knows, like, if you don't want to answer any of these questions, you don't have to. This conversation is about getting to know each other and making sure you feel comfortable with me. So I've created for myself a discovery session questionnaire that I kind of go through in my head with the potential client. I ask all sorts of questions. A lot of it's just kind of get to know you questions, and I help them figure out where their biggest challenges are in this situation. So I'm never gonna approach a conversation by asking like, oh, how can I help you? Because normally my clients don't really know how I could best support them because they don't really know what the options are. So I go through an entire conversation with them, a discovery session where I can ask some questions and get to kind of know the situation and have a better understanding of the challenges that they're facing, what they're up against. And then at the end, I'm able to say, hey, this kept coming up. This is a way I can support you, or this issue, keeps surfacing. You mentioned this a few times. I can help you here, here, and here, and that's what this is going to look like. And then I let them tell me whether they would like to move forward with working with me, or whether maybe somebody else would be a better fit. So some of the questions, and I'll just give you a couple of them from here. I ask about communication, like what way do you prefer to be communicated with? Are there hard boundaries about communication? I ask about the living space currently, like where the individual is, what the family dynamic is, who's in the home, who lives outside of the home, if they're at the house. I ask for a really brief medical history if there's anything that's relevant. Maybe a diagnosis, if they want to share that, they don't have to. And then I ask if they've got anything that if they can't sleep at night, what are the things that you're thinking of? Like, what are the biggest concerns? What's keeping you awake at night? And I allow them to bring up the things that they're most concerned about. I ask about pets. I ask if they've had any funeral arrangements made, or if they needed any help finding resources in the community, such as a funeral director or somebody who can help them navigate that. I ask if they have legacy project ideas, or if that's something that they're interested in finding out more about. I ask if they have a vigil. If they're like very end of life clients, I'll ask if they have like a vigil plan, or if that's something that they want me to assist with, or if they have a post-death plan for the family and the caregivers. So what's going to happen in like the moments after your loved one passes, and I help them walk through that too. Let's see, I ask the caregivers if they're getting adequate sleep and nutrition. Are they receiving emotional support? If so, what does that look like? And how can I provide more support in that realm? And then I ask if they're getting logistical support. So meal train, the more logistical hands-on support. Do they have caregivers in the home? Do they have aides that are coming in? Is hospice involved? And then from all of these questions, I can typically figure out what the situation is like, where their biggest areas of concern are, and how I can help them moving forward. So that is what my discovery session typically looks like. This complimentary, I do this with everybody coming in so that they can get an idea of like what it's going to be like to work with me, kind of the areas I'm seeking out, and how to support them in those. And then they can decide from there whether we're going to be a good fit or not. So those sessions typically are anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour, hour and a half. It kind of depends. I let them, guide the conversation, and then we'll go from there. So that's kind of how I do my discovery session.